A good place to begin our exploration of chemistry is to define it and a few central concepts. Chemistry is the study of matter and its properties, the changes that matter undergoes, and the energy associated with those changes. Matter is the stuff of the universe. The air, glass, planets, students, anything that has mass and volume. So we say that matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Matter occurs commonly in three physical forms called states or phases: solid, liquid, and gas. On the macroscopic scale, each state of matter is defined by the way the sample fill a container. A solid has a fixed shape that does not conform to the container shape. Solids are not defined by rigidity or hardness. Solid iron is rigid and hard, but solid lead is flexible, and solid wax is soft. In terms of the arrangement of the particles in a solid state, the particles are very close together so that it does not allow any movement of the particles in the solid state. A liquid has a varying shape that conforms to the container shape, but only to the extent of the liquid's volume. That is, a liquid has an upper surface. In terms of the particles, the liquid particles are slightly far away from each other. So this provides movement of the particles. And that's why liquids are called fluids. A gas has a varying shape that conforms to the container shape, but it fills the container and thus does not have a surface. Which means that gas has no definite shape and it has no definite volume. In terms of the particles, the gas particles are very far from each other. Gases are also called fluids. They can take the form or the shape of any container. We learn about matter by observing its properties, the characteristics that give each substance its unique identity. To identify a person, we might observe height, weight, hair, and eye color, fingerprints, and now even DNA pattern until we arrive at a unique identification. To identify a substance, we observe two types of properties: physical and chemical, which are closely related to two types of change that matter undergoes. Physical properties are characteristics a substance shows by itself without changing into or interacting with another substance. These properties include melting point, electrical conductivity, and density. Chemical properties are characteristics a substance shows as it changes into or interacts with another substance. Chemical properties include flammability, corrosiveness, and reactivity with acids. In terms of the changes in matter, we also have the physical change and the chemical change. A physical change is a change in a substance which alters its physical properties but not its composition. For example, when ice melts, several physical properties change, such as hardness, density, and ability to flow. There is a change from solid to liquid, but the composition of the sample does not change. It is still water. A chemical change, also called a chemical reaction, occurs when a substance is converted into a different substance or substances. In this picture, a chemical change or a chemical reaction occurs when you pass an electric current through water. The water decomposes or breaks down into two other substances, hydrogen and oxygen, that bubble into the tubes. The composition has changed. The final sample is no longer water because water has changed into two different gases, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Here are some more examples of some characteristic properties of matter. In this example, we have copper. Copper is easily shaped into sheets, so that is malleability, and it can be drawn into wires, or it has ductility. Copper can be melted and mixed with zinc to form brass. Brass is an example of a solid solution. And then these are the density values. So the density, the melting point, and the boiling point are all physical properties. In terms of the chemical properties, copper forms a blue-green carbonate in moist air. Copper reacts with nitric or sulfuric acid, and copper slowly forms deep blue solution in aqueous ammonia. Now let's take a look at sample problem 1.2 on page 7, distinguishing between physical and chemical change. So the problem is, decide whether each of the following processes is primarily a physical or a chemical change and explain briefly. So I want you to go over the sample problem. We have a plan of action. The plan tells you how to solve or answer a problem. And then there's a solution in the bottom. And I want you to look at these solutions. Now, after you go over sample problem 1.2, answer follow-up problems 1.2a and 1.2b. Follow-up problems 1.2a and 1.2b are on page 8. And then also answer 1.6 and 1.7. So down here it says some similar problems, 1.6 and 1.7. You will find these questions at the end of chapter 1. Write all your answers in your notebook. You don't need to submit your answers today, but I need you to work on this today because we will be talking about your answers when I come back. Okay? And I will give you points for your work. That's gonna be all for today. If you have any questions, you may email me at merlita.bradley@smss.org. I hope to be back tomorrow, but if ever I can't come back, I might make another video or I will go on Zoom. You all have a blessed day. Bye!